Hey everybody, before today's episode, I wanted to promote our Patreon. If you didn't know, we have a Patreon. The Patreon helps supports the Couch Corp podcast. Sign up and join today and you'll be given special perks. Perks like Discord roles, as well as mini episodes throughout the week. You'll also get exclusive content like bloopers, highlight reels, and much more. And if you get the top tier, you get a free drawing by us in our own art style. And for any tier, you get a shout out on every episode that we produce. So do go and join our Patreon today if you can. It really helps supports the podcast. Now let's get right into the episode. Hey everybody, welcome to another Couch Corp podcast. This is episode 5. Today's topic, we'll be talking about the style of animation or different styles of animation. So today's going to be a little bit different. Tori and Mia are out at the moment. They'll be on later during the episode, hopefully. So it'll just be ya boys, Will and Gabe. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, how's everybody doing? Burnt, how you doing? Gabe, how you doing? How's your week been?
Doing pretty good. Been an interesting week.
How so?
I mean, I was like I told you before, I went to a bull sale early in the week.
Okay. You get you a girthy bull?
Yes, sir.
He got a big bowl. So, yeah, Saturdays are for the boys. Yes, sir.
Sir.
Bowl sale, soup time.
Bull.
No, it's been, I don't know, this week's been weird. I've been not feeling too well. I've had migraines all week, so it's been something. But Wanda Vision, the new episode of Wanda Vision just came out. So it was not that bad. I was actually impressed. It was better than last week's episode.
Do you know what? I read an article where people are upset there's not going to be a season 2 of Wanda Vision.
Well, there's not supposed to be.
Yeah, I know. And people put like, the little meme of where it's like what's his name? I forgot the name of the actor, but it's on Avengers Endgame where it's like Tyrion Lannister, whatever the little short dude from Game of Thrones, who ends up being like the dwarf guy that crafts
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Thor's axe or whatever, and he's like,
oh yeah.
And it was the meme, and it was like, that's what miniseries means.
That's what miniseries means. Yeah, Gravity Falls. That's another thing. Like, people were pissed off that it ended, and it was like, that's the whole point. Like, you can't just expect somebody to just keep drawing out the same crap for the rest of the... And it wasn't crap, I'm just saying. Like, you can't draw out the same stuff for 15 more seasons. It's not X-Files. Like, you can't just keep doing that. Like, the fuck? Like, really? No, but, like, I don't know. It's really interesting. I recommend if you want to go watch it, do go watch it. So whatever way you want to watch it on, it's go watch it. So it's a good TV show.
Gravity Falls or WandaVision?
Both. Shit, both. Gravity Falls is freaking good. We'll get to that at the main topic for today, but still need to get to watching it. Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, I don't recommend doing what I'm doing, which is like just waiting each week for a new episode, because you're kind of just, and I don't know. I mean, if you want to binge watch it. So, it's got tier. Yeah, Gravity Falls is really good. We'll get to that later in the episode, because I mean, it goes well with today's episode, so you already know. But yeah, there's that. I know Mia and Tori, I guess we'll talk to Mia and Tori later if they're gonna get on, or whenever they do get on, hopefully. So I guess right now we'll go into your link. We'll go into the link today. Gabe's links.
Yes, sir.
Sweet. Yes, sir. Okay, so explain your link for today.
So, my link for today. Former manager of DoD Aerospace Threat Program says that UFOs are real.
Alright, okay. Explain.
Hold on, I need to open up the article. No, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I guess he used to be like a former, I guess, like high tier official in this, I guess, aerospace. I don't know what it meant by aerospace threat company. I don't know if they were like making like new age weapons for like space and all that. Next thing you know, we're in like the Star Trek era. We have space rangers and all that.
Like Infinity
But
and
I
the
guess,
Beyond shit. Got Buzz
yeah,
Lightyear.
yeah. Or what is it? That one where I guess like it was like, didn't Trump try making like a space rangers or something?
Like a
Like a
Space
space.
Force. Or was
Yeah.
it? Yeah. I guess, yeah.
And
Dude,
I remember there's
that would
a.
be insane. Just imagine we
And
have Buzz Lightyears flying around.
I remember there's the meme where like someone was asking this guy, like, "Why do you think we need a space force?" He's like, "To fight space ISIS."
Well, that was today's link. Gabe, thank you for your link today. It was amazing. Wait, okay, so I've heard about this actually. There was something. What was it? It was they released it. I think this year that they were going to release a bunch of files, that had to deal with like
for
space
UFOs?
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
I guess
remember hearing some stuff where I guess the Air Force released stuff saying.
yeah
Go ahead.
they released a lot of like information on it, and of course like it's very vague because it's like it's vague, but it's something. So this podcast is so good that I dropped my phone and dented a wall. What? Burnt? No. Dented a wall for us. That means a lot. Yeah, but
Are you a secret Kyle?
you said a secret Kyle?
Yeah.
Dorito. Nice.
Yes.
No, but they were just gonna release a bunch of stuff for like the public to see, but in reality it wasn't like mind-boggling. It was like, okay, yeah, there's possibly life forms out there, and that's about it. That's what I got from it. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I don't know the full extent, of what's out there, but like, I'm sure, I don't know. I mean, I try to keep an open mind, but then at the same time, when you hear people like, "What the hell are you saying?" And so,
yeah, I don't know. I'm worried about me. I think the last thing I'm worried about is going to space or something coming from space.
yeah, I feel like people don't. Yeah, like you said, like people don't really think about them right now. They think of more of like, oh shit, what if
Independence
fucking
Day
Martian?
happens.
Yeah, just Independence Day.
We gotta get Jeff Goldblum on it and Will Smith.
Yep.
We're the
And
Men
then
in
I don't
Black.
know.
Yeah, but
I don't know. Even then, like honestly, I feel like if I had to choose between space or the ocean, I'd explore the deep blue ocean before going into space.
see, that's where I think we differ. I'd rather go into space. I don't know. I guess the thing about space is like very few people get to go to space, but very few people, or a good amount of people, can probably just go, "Hey, let's go to the ocean," and like just dive.
See, but like that's the thing though. Like, there's so much there's like new species of I guess deep sea animals being discovered like every day and stuff. And it's like we haven't even like reached to the freaking bottom yet. So like we don't even know what's still down there. And I remember watching like movies like what is it, The Meg? I mean that movie was pretty dumb, but at the same time was like, yeah, I kind of want to see what's in the deep blue ocean. And then there's another one where I guess they had some sort of like mining operation in the deep ocean, but instead of they found like some sort of like weird I guess what is it called? Some sort of life form that was like attacking them and stuff. So it's like I kind of want to see what's down there in terms of like life forms, because it's like you see most of that stuff. It's like weird as hell, but at the same time, it's like very how do you say it, fascinating to look at. Of how things evolved and all that,
I get you.
adapted to their environment.
Yeah, that makes sense. I get it completely. Yeah. Well, that is the end of Gabe's links today. So,
Sure.
I guess now we're
Drop
on
a
to
like and a comment. No, I'm just joking.
that's the end of Gabe's links today. So, yeah, I guess we'll just go straight into the main topic then. Go ahead and just do that.
Style of animation.
Style of
I was
animation.
gonna.
I guess it
Well,
would just be
okay.
like the different styles of animation.
Oh well, let me ask you this: like, what, like, growing up, like, what kind of animation, I guess, were you, I guess, sort of like, grew up watching and all that, and, like, how it affected you and all that.
Oh, Hanna-Barbera, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah, I
Hanna-Barbera.
don't know.
That's literally
Yeah,
literally waking up to
yeah,
watch
yeah.
Scooby-Doo and Tom and
Oh
Jerry
my
and
god.
mhm,
Yep.
yep.
God, nothing beats that shit.
That stuff, but everyone
Like,
hates it. Everyone that I know hates it. I don't get it. I mean,
I
I do
don't.
get it.
Yeah, me too.
It's not complicated. It's not supposed to be complicated though. It's not supposed to be crazy like fluid motion. It's supposed to be made to send out an episode every week. So I can understand why it looks cheap. But then again, it's like
Yeah,
it's a classic. It's like the time. It's a product of its
yeah.
time.
Mhm. Yeah, like that's what I like. You like I grew up watching Scooby Doo and like Cow and Chicken and all that, and like oh my god, like it brings me back to my memories. Like I remember I bought like a recent they had like it was a 50th anniversary of like Scooby Doo, and they had everything from like the very beginning of day one all the way up until now with Mystery Incorporated, and it was so like I was able to see how it progressed over time and all that. And like it's just amazing to watch. And then another one one style of animation that I really grew up on is like that I really like is the stop motion animation. That's what I really like.
Oh,
And
like
then
what was it? There was some like Shaun the
Chicken
Sheep or
Run,
something.
yeah, Shaun the Sheep, Wallace and Gromit, all that.
I remember what was it? The what was the shows from oh yeah, like Rugrats. Like
Oh
I
yeah,
remember
I
that.
remember.
And growing up with
Yeah,
Rugrats and Jimmy Neutron and what were the other one? There was this one show I remember growing up with called Hero 108, and it
I
was
don't
like
think I've
this.
heard of that one.
I remember that so vividly. Like every time I talk to people about it, everyone was like, "What the heck is that show?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it was on Cartoon Network almost all the time." Oh my gosh, Bert, yes. The stop motion Lego videos. That was a big thing for my childhood too. Just because I was into stop motion a lot. Like I remember watching that a lot. Just so I could learn like how to do that style of animation. So
What is it? I just remember Teenage Mutant Ninja. I remember watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I
what
remember
was
that's like.
there was a show for that. But I can't remember like I can't remember it as much as everything else. I remember watching the movies, but that was about it.
Because are you talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
Yeah,
or?
yeah.
I know they had like two shows from what I remember. One was like 2D animated, 2D animation style. That was what I grew up watching, and then I remember Nickelodeon had one where it was 3D animation, and I didn't really care for that one so much because it kind of I don't know, it kind of felt like it not deviated, but like I guess defected from what like I grew up with.
Yeah.
What is it? I was gonna say I don't know if you've watched these movies, but have you? I think it was called. Yeah, have you watched American Tail? I don't know if any of our.
Yo,
Uh,
Fievel?
yep, yep.
Yep, yep. I remember
him,
that. Yeah.
him like Fivefold goes to America trying to
Mm-hmm.
escape the Bolshevik cats,
Mm-hmm. Oh my
and then
god.
there's
Yep.
like what is it,
Five goes
American Tail?
west.
Yeah, that one too.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that one.
I remember that. Man, now I remember all that. I don't know. It was so different seeing the different styles of animation from like the Scooby Doo era, like the early Scooby Doo era, and like that, and Tom and Jerry, and then going from that to something like American Tail. Like those are completely different in their own styles, just because one took the time and effort to be able to make something that was followed through and looked, like well animated, and then the other one was made for TV, just quickly, put
Yeah,
together so that they could have a villain of the week type thing. And it was just like, I don't know, those styles of, I think I'd much rather prefer the like well thought out and well put together style of animation with with like a good story and stuff, than have the villain of the week type of thing with Scooby Doo. Even
yeah.
though the
I know.
Scooby Doo
I mean,
one's classic.
yeah. Like I like the. I feel like the reason why I like it so like good is because like it was sort of like a like I guess like the first introduction I had to animation. And so I feel like even with like how you said with the animated weekly TV shows, how they're kind of drawn is like, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's kind of like the quality's not that kind of good, but then at the same time, it was sort of like our introduction to that sort of world. And then like watching like movies like American Tail, or even like the really thought out stuff. That's when it's like it really blew our minds and stuff. 'Cause it
Yeah.
was so like thought out and put well together and so planned out to create, I guess, like this whole masterpiece.
Yeah, true. I don't know. What was another? I think Rugrats was probably. Well, no. Ed and Eddie. Ed and Eddie and Rugrats had
Oh
this
yeah.
kind of same, like, sort of style, but it wasn't. I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't. Those were so much better than Hanna-Barbera cartoons. Even though Hanna-Barbera cartoons, they could pump out stuff constantly. It just was like the style
Well,
of.
I
Oh,
I
go
mean I
ahead.
think go ahead.
No. You
Sorry.
go ahead. You go ahead, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I think the reason why there's like such a big difference is because like I mean early on in like the Hanna Barbera and all that, they were like doing the regular like cell animation where they were like drawing it by hand and then animating it that way. Well, I think during growing up with Ed and Eddie and all, I don't even remember when the last episode aired for Ed and Eddie, but it was in like the early like I think 2010s possibly,
I think it
and
was
that
like
was like
2000. Yeah, I would think that too. Yeah, it'd be early or yeah, late 2000s.
yeah, and I remember like even like the technology for like animating has like evolved significantly. Like I don't even know of any other I guess how'd you say it, like production companies that still do the traditional, you know, like hand drawn like cell animation.
Yeah,
And
I
it's like,
think.
and it's, go ahead.
Oh no. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, I want to hear you.
And I was gonna say that's what like I like about like growing up, like seeing that, getting a taste of that, and then watching it now of like stuff coming out now of like how the technology's produced, or I guess evolved from what we first watched as a kid, like sort of like with like VHS tapes. I don't know if anyone in the I guess in the who's watching had VHS tapes growing up, but it's like you had to like rewind it, and then like now
Mm-hmm.
we just have to stick in a little disc, or even just rent the movie off iTunes and stuff.
Dude, I
It's
remember
just
when you had to go and you either had to put it back in the player and then rewind it, or you had to like literally do it by hand. And there was this smart thing I'll never forget, that somebody put like they had like this tool specifically for that, and then they would take a power tool and just use the power tool to like crank it, and it would automatically
yeah,
just spin it. And
yeah.
like,
I remember like I had like one of those little box things that rewinds it for you. You just stick it in, press a button, and it rewinds it back for you.
Mm-hmm. We weren't that
And
fancy. We just had power tools. Someone said, "Hey, give me that. Let me duct tape that tool to this power tool." And then just
I don't.
rewind it.
Yeah, I remember we got it from like a secondhand store, and all it was like a toy car that did it. So I was like, "Oh, Mom, can we get it?" And I think it was only like $2, but I ended up breaking it. So I had to do. So I had to do it the old-fashioned way of sticking it into the VHS tape and then just pressing rewind.
Yes, I remember that. We had that for a while, and then DVDs started to become more popular, and people started using DVD. But DVD players, like when it came out, were expensive, dude. Like
Yeah,
I'll never forget. Like what was it? They started coming out with Blu-ray, and for some reason that was like I don't understand complete. I guess one was made for like HD, and then the other was made for like standard definition. But like it was so expensive to switch.
yeah, I remember that. Like, I remember watching like going from like DVD to Blu-ray. Like, I didn't think there was nothing special about it until we actually got a Blu-ray player, and I was like, oh shit, this thing is kind of a whole lot better. I mean, I don't know. I still prefer to get like the Blu-ray packs where it comes with a DVD in case I go somewhere where
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't have the Blu-ray player. But even then, it's like I don't know. Even then, with like digital and all that, I'd prefer to get like a hard copy of like some of my favorite movies, just so I can like just have a collection of them.
Yeah, I get that completely. Just shove a pencil in there. Oh yeah, a pencil in the VHS tape. Yeah, that's probably a better idea.
I always use the pencil for the cassette players.
Yeah, for the
Or for the
cassette
cassette
players,
tape.
I'd do it. But for VHS, nah, the pencil would never work for the VHS. Dude, cassettes. Oh my god, dude, I haven't used a cassette in like forever. It's been a long
Uh,
time.
what is it? I went to a. There's a record store that I used to go to in Texas. I don't know if they're still around anymore, but they used to have cassettes, and I think they had a Sony Walkman once. I was thinking about buying it, but I was like, nah. But they did have Laserdisc.
That's rare. That's a rare one.
Yeah, yeah, that is like old. Like that is like way before our time. And what is it? They had that Eddie Murphy movie, the one where he's like the prince.
Oh, Welcome to America.
Yeah, they had Welcome to America on Laserdisc.
That I don't even get like I don't know. Laserdisc was weird, but it's DVD bought out or DVD beat the Laserdisc. So
Yeah.
oh yeah, we're supposed to be talking about animation. We're talking about Laserdisc. This is where Tori would be like, "Hey, no, go back to the topic. We gotta go back to the topic." In good
No.
faith, in good faith. So, pencil saw. Here's the thing, Burnt. I feel like you're like that one episode of SpongeBob where Patrick's like, "We have technology," and then beats the dollar with the PC. She's like, because Burnt was like, "Pencil doesn't work on VHS, but use a pencil anyways." Pencil solves everything. I just know, Burnt. We just know. We've come to the conclusion where we now know. So okay, here's a good topic for the or not topic, a good segment for the topic. Anime.
Oh shit, yeah. That's some pretty good. I don't know. Well, how far you want to get back, or how far you want to dive deep into this?
I think the farthest I've ever been back with anime was like Akira or Akira,
Yeah.
I guess. One or the other.
I don't know. I always watched that growing up too. Like I remember watching Inuyasha when I was like 5 on Toonami.
Oh really? No, I did not watch Toonami that young.
I watched Toonami because it's like I'd just be watching what is it Cartoon Network, and then it was just it had just happened to be Saturday, and then it just roll onto to Toonami,
Yeah.
and so I'd watch Inuyasha. I'd basically watch all what they had there, and I guess that would be like that was like my first introduction into anime, and even now I still watch it. Like my parents like my me and my cousin like we're big fans of anime, and like we send each other we're also big fans of Studio Ghibli too. Like we'll send each other like Studio Ghibli films that we both haven't seen, or all stuff like that. We can watch them and then we'll discuss them and shit too.
Yeah,
But
I learned today with anime stuff, and I like for how much detail that goes into anime. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like Western animation does not compare to anime like at all in terms of its detail. It's like, in terms of pretty much a lot of like the animation techniques used in anime, it does not
yeah,
compare whatsoever to Western animation. The dynamic, like, figures you get from it, the crazy, like, just any of it is just, it doesn't really compare as much.
no, no. I mean, it amazes me because like some of the like how they like the characters move and like how they do some of their fight scenes. If it's uh, uh like a action anime like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure,
Mm-hmm.
like it's just fucking astounding, and like it's all hand drawn too.
Yeah, that's what's crazy too. But I found out that today that many of the animators were getting very underpaid. And
Oh no, yeah.
when I mean like very underpaid, I mean
Mm.
we had talked about it before how animators get underpaid, and like we and everyone realized it. But no, I looked at the numbers today and I was like,
Yeah,
whoa, hold on, that's not even like a livable wage. Like, you're making $200 a month. Like,
yeah. Like I was looking into that, and like the anime industry or the animation industry in Japan, it's like really, really brutal. Because I remember there was this video of this guy that used to be like he was an animator. And he was like 60 something years old. He had like a greasy T-shirt and all that, and he's like, yeah, I draw this, I draw this for the show, and like I show it to my higher ups, and if they don't like it or they say it's not good enough, I had to draw it back. And then he just starts crying, and like the person thought it was like a joke. He thought they were joking, but no, he was actually crying. Like, and
yeah,
it's it's brutal because it's like they're so, I guess, how would you say, so I guess so kind of like not strict, but on how they like want their stuff to go through. But it's like at the same time, it's like I feel like the thing that they're looking for is like quality, and so that's why they're so, I guess, I don't know what the term, what you call it be, but I guess so, I guess uptight about it, if that's for lack of a better term.
yeah. Well, I mean, I found out that like many of the animators in these animation studios, they get paid low wages, but like it's like a badge of honor to like stay there overnight and work on animation stuff day in day out. And I'm like, that's like, I love doing what I do, but like,
I know,
Lord, I
like
could
that.
not do that. Like,
Yeah,
not
that was
just
like that's
like,
part of the that's part of the culture there too. Like I was looking into it, and they said that that some of those people stay there overtime because they don't want to be the first one to go home.
yeah,
Because they think that if the first person to go home is sort of seen as like, I guess, as someone that doesn't want to work, or like is, I guess, some kind of, I'm not entirely sure. So it's sort of like they're kind of lazy, and so they want to go home, and so that's why a lot of people like stay there. And it's not even just in the animation industry, in other industries as well in Japan. But they were talking about that like some companies have even made it like mandatory that you have to stop working at this time, go home and get rest.
yeah. I don't, I just don't get it, and that's why I don't like. I think there's only like a few studios in the U.S. that actually do everything in house, and it's like Pixar, and there's another one in Toronto, not in the U.S., but there's one in Toronto, and there's one in Vancouver, I think. but like it's insane. Like most of the stuff you see like from Disney, yeah, it gets shipped out to like Korea, gets animated
Yeah.
there, and then gets sent back, or like in the Philippines.
Mm-hmm. And that was one of the things. Is like I remember we talked about it to Tori before, and that's why like she was telling me why she kind of changed her when she was like going to scat. She changed her focus from like I guess animate like 2D animation to storytelling and development.
Mm-hmm.
It's because like a lot of those animation studios just outsource their animation to other countries, and so like hearing that, I was kind of like I guess it's kind of like putting in those like because it's like shit, like what's the whole even point of doing it? But then at the same time, it's like I mean this is what I like to do, so it's like this is what I'm gonna do. But at the same time, it's like I feel like I don't know. I mean, I think if you're starting out small, you should do that. But I don't know because I don't even know what kind of direction the whole industry is gonna take with stuff like that. And I don't even know if there's anything to like protect. I guess it like how do you say it, like animators like from with stuff like that. Because even then, it's hard to get a job in the industry as well.
Well, the problem
So
is,
it's like
like, what happens is these companies, like, let's just say Disney hires these companies to make stuff, and they got to make them quick, so they got to send them out quickly as possible. And they're pumping out all this animated stuff, and Crunchyroll's even doing it too. Like, they're pumping out animated stuff, and it's like they got to get stuff out there. But the problem is, like, you can't pay all these people to work on multiple different projects at this certain wage, so you have to cut the wage or the money off at a certain point so that you can keep producing all this content, but still have something to pay your animators. But it's not good money. But the thing about the thing that's different overseas is that they'll work for that much. They'll work for that amount of money. Here, like, we have laws and stuff put in place that's not gonna cut it. Like, and many of the people here won't do work for that. Like, they won't do work for that amount of money. So it's like there's a huge difference between the two, and you end up getting, it's either you have to pay them the right wage and you cut down on the amount of shows that you produce, or you have a buttload amount of shows but you don't pay your workers as much. And it's like, what? Like, that's insane. But even at that, what's crazy is that they make these amazing animated like films and TV shows that are like fluid, and so like they have motion to them that are different from just regular like animated TV shows like Gravity Falls, or like a lot of the Western shows.
yeah.
So it's like it's insane that amount of style of animation is coming out of that, but they're not getting paid enough for that. It's just, I don't know, it's weird. It's insane. So yeah, I don't know. What do you think the newest style of animation is going to be?
I don't know. It seems like now it seems like everything's going towards 3D animation, especially in the anime world. Like there's been a lot of like CGI animated Japanese films. Like I think the most recent one that people probably know about is Lupin the Third, the first. They did that was like it began as like traditional like 2D animation. Like that was like one of the first series. That was actually like Lupin the Third. The Castle of Cagliostro is one of Hayao Miyazaki's, like that's his first directorial debut, and like I've watched it and it's really good. And to see it go from like 2D animation all the way to 3 CGI, it's amazing. And they still seem to like carry that same aspect of like how it was, like the same feel and all that from when it was 2D animation to 3D animation. And so that's what it even seems like everything's gonna go towards. So that's why it's like I don't know what the future of like traditional animation is gonna be like, because it feels like everything's going towards 3D animation.
I think it was going
And
more towards. I don't know. There's two different sides to it. There's 2D animation and there's 3D animation. But the thing about 3D animation is it's quick, it's easy to do. The issue is that you don't get the same feeling as you would with like 2D animation. 2D animation, I think it looks a lot better at 2D animation than 3D in certain aspects. Like, I mean, if you're going for Pixar film, yeah, you that 3D film, like, it's gonna look good, and you want 3D coming out of Pixar sometimes. But like, if I'm going for like a Walt Disney Studios animation, like cartoon, I kind of want a 2D animated film, you know. So and
what? Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Because that's one of the things that I was gonna say is like I don't think I haven't I can't think of a recent movie that was done in like 2D animation. And like,
what about Studio
like
Ghibli?
I don't know what was the recent. That's the thing. Like even I honestly don't even know when the last Studio Ghibli film came out. But I know that's what it even seems like. Even in Western animation, like it seems that most 2D animation is reserved for television and all that, while 3D animation is mostly reserved for films and stuff. But I guess the one, well, no, if I had to say, it'd have to be Klaus. Klaus was done in 2D animation.
Oh yeah. Wait, was that 2D? I thought it was 3D with like 2D style.
No, it's 2D, but they used I know from what I remember in school was that they said they used a new type of software to make Klaus. Is like it was just like in the beginning works, but they did the lighting in a sort of way so it looks like 3D animation, but it was all in 2D. And that's what like when I watched it, it was like it was like dull, like I guess jaw dropping to watch it, because it's like even with what is it Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, like it had like it was all 3D, but still had that like sort of 2D feel to it.
Well, how they did Into the Spider-Verse, I've talked to people that worked on the film and a few people that were like a part of it, and they and I've seen like behind the scenes stuff, and I've created my own shaders to look like Into the Spider-Verse stuff, and literally what it is it's they'll take like 2D like they'll take 2D different 2D styles and put it with the 3D animation. Like when you look at Miles Morales when he's like moving around, or you're looking at any of these characters moving around, there's like this little outline that goes around them, kind of like in 2D art. Like you'll see like that outline around characters. Yeah, like the Miles Morales is 3D, but that 2D, people went hand frame by frame drawing that 2D line around characters' contours and like around their faces and stuff, which is insane. And then they would wait, what?
I was gonna say I did find the latest Studio Ghibli film, and it's 3D animated. It's computer 3D animated.
I knew they came out with something recently. Yeah. I didn't know if it was 2D though.
Yeah, it was CGI, and it was Earwig and the Witch, and that's why I was thinking. That's why I was like saying that like a lot of it's. I feel like the future of animation is gonna be toward more computer 3D animated type stuff. Like I don't know if like it'll go to a point where like 2D animation is obsolete, but then at the same time it's like I feel like you can make more. I don't know. Even then, like with I don't know, like I guess for an example, it'd have to be Sausage Party, because it's like with more of like 3D animation, you can have more of like an adult type feel, something more catered to adults, which they tried doing with like Sausage Party. I mean, it's probably a bad example, but
I don't know.
Like even then,
I get it though.
It's still Yeah, it still had the like childish, look and feel to it, but it seems like more like 2D animation is more like for the childish slash television type things because that's what most kids are, I guess, used to watching as a children. So I don't know if it'll still be a staple in like the whole, I guess, animation world going forward. But I feel even then it's like, I don't know. For part of me, it feels kind of scared that 2D animation might be considered obsolete, and we might not do it anymore because it's like that's what I grew up with, and that's what I like watching.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like awesome seeing those movies that I watched as a kid that were like originally 2D are now 3D. Like what is it? The Scoob. Like
I thought
I
that
don't
could have
know.
been so much better, but it was really cool though. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, like I didn't really like it. That I mean, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it because like I do like it because it's like it's Scooby Doo and like it was cool seeing like the 3D take on it. But at the same time, I feel like they could have done a whole lot better. And one of the
Yeah.
things is like that I didn't really like about that film was that they didn't have Matthew Lillard as voicing Shaggy.
I was just saying that today. Um that I was talking with somebody about Matthew Lillard not being in the last Scoob movie or in the last Scooby Doo movie, and I was like, it just didn't make any sense because that's like he's the man for like a like Shaggy. Like when you think Shaggy, that like he is Shaggy, but they went with Will Forte, which I thought was like, I get it. Like you want to try to change up Scoot or Shaggy or change up the cast a little bit, but like, man, that's Matthew Lillard. Like, how you gonna do
Yeah,
that?
it's like yeah, like I mean I don't know. Ever since like seeing him as like portrayed as like Shaggy in like the live action Scooby Doo movies, like he's portrayed that character so well. Like it's hard for me to imagine like any other voice as like as Shaggy.
Yeah, it was just I don't know. And I think another thing was like they added so much into that movie, and it was just like you didn't need like all this stuff. It was just like you could have done it a little bit differently. Yeah, burnt one thing changing the cast around in different roles, but if you're trying to keep a classic and already have a fantastic for it, why change? Yeah, it's the equivalent of like if it ain't broke, why don't fix it. I mean, there is stuff there is like you want to try to make it innovative, which I get the whole 3D part, but the voice cast, like, it would have been so cool to hear Matthew Lillard, um, like be Shaggy for that style of animation, because it would have been like, oh wow, no, that's Shaggy, but he looks cooler, like or he looks cool. But I guess they wanted to try to get the a new voice cast in there. Have everybody from SNL come in to play Scooby and the gang.
Yeah, that's like I didn't mind like Zac Efron being like
Yeah, being
Fred
Fred.
and all
Yeah,
that. Like I felt like it was like a fitting like voice change and role for it. But it's like with Shaggy and all that, like him and Scooby are like the most like I feel like they're the two most iconic characters from that whole like show and stuff.
yeah,
Like, cause they even had spin-offs of just where it was just him and Shaggy. They had like the what is it, the Ghoul School where it was just them. Like
yeah,
they had like their own little spin-offs where it was just them, and so it's like they're. I mean, for them to have like a spin-off like that, it's like they're like the two most iconic characters. So it's like, why would you change what people are used to just to, I guess, how'd you say it, to be more innovative, like you said.
yeah. I don't know. I guess it comes with the style of animation. You kind of have to change things up a little bit, but I don't know. It's whatever. I mean, I think it was a chance they had to take, and so I mean, Will Forte doing that voice, like, changed. They wanted to change something up and see if it worked, and I guess it didn't hit the mark as well as people thought it was. And I mean, it's not Will Forte's fault, but because I mean, he was given anything and everything to be able to play that role. It just wasn't made. I don't think it was completely made for Will Forte. I think he did a great job with what he was given. So yeah, that's how trial and error works. So, but yeah, I think another thing that I enjoyed too was like how realistic some animations can get. And one thing that was getting me on edge, because I was like, what no, was when people were like, Soul looks so realistic, and I was like, no, this I think you mean like it looks stylistic, like the style looks clean and crisp. Like Soul doesn't look realistic. It's not supposed to be like, people were like, wow, look, it's so realistic.
For me, the feel, like, I can understand the realistic part, but the only part where like it felt realistic was when like the interaction between the, I guess, like how he was going through New York and all that.
The
like,
environment
that felt
was realistic.
Yeah, that felt realistic.
I get that. Like, I get that completely. And I guess it's just me as like a 3D person. Like, I know, like, I don't know. Like, I'm not like, it's hard to explain, but like, if there's a difference between realistic and stylistic, like the Lego movie, that's pretty realistic in terms of its style and what it was going for. That looks realistic because it looks like a stop motion animation.
And that's like with the Lego movie and all that, and like stop motion animation. That's what I like about it, because it still has that human feel of it. Like, you get those like little errors and all that, of like those human errors, but with like 3D animation, like you can kind of correct that, which is what they did with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I think they did it at a different frame rate. So
yeah,
it's like
they doubled over on some stuff. So like they like Miles Morales went in 2s, while as Peter Parker went just at a regular frame rate.
And that's why, like, yeah. And that's why, like, I mean, that's why I like that animation so much, is because like it still has that human feel, where it's like it still has that little bit of human error, but that's what makes it so, like, I guess how'd you say it? So like awe-inspiring, because it's like it feels like it's it feels real. Like, it feels real. But with that, like with 3D animation, you can like easily correct that and all that. But like, they just leave it in there for that, same type of feel and stuff. Just with like how the characters move and all that. It's not like sometimes it's not all fluid, but then at the same time, that's what gives it its I guess the feel of like of what you're trying to portray.
Yeah, I get it completely. So, I don't know. What else do you want to... Well, hold on. Though, yeah, environmentally, New York did look really nice. Yeah, that was the thing about Pixar animation, is like, the Toy Story movies, those look... Like, the amount of detail that went into it, like, if you looked back at, like, Pixar animation back when Toy Story came out, it looks so, like, really different than Toy Story 4. Like, and of course that's with you have new programs coming out and all this stuff, but it's like the drastic difference between those is insane, man. Like, back then there were so many things they couldn't do. Like, they couldn't get realistic, they could only get like specular type of reflections. So like they could only get like light bouncing, so like the sun reflecting off of stuff. They couldn't get actual like environmental reflections. So when you look at it, it only looks like it's being lit up by like a light point or something. So like it doesn't look realistic. But now, like the GIs, like the global illumination that bounces off of the ground and all these light passes, and not only that, reflections on the eyes, like it makes it look so good. Now, not realistic, but it makes it look so good. Like,
Mhm.
so.
And it's like the same thing with like video games too. It's like how I know we were talking about SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. Like when it first came out in like the '90s, like or like 1999. You know, when we were kids, you know, it's like it looked okay, like playing it on the GameCube. But like now, it's like with it going through Unreal Engine and all that,
Mm-hmm.
like the way the water looks and how it moves, and then like the colors and all that are just more vibrant and all that too. And, I don't know, it's just fascinating to watch. You know how I guess technological advancements can just improve just like the stuff that we like I guess watch every day, like especially with animation and stuff.
Yeah. I think, yeah, I think with how technology is going, you're gonna get a lot of stuff that looks a lot. It's gonna start getting towards that realm of realism, and not like characters look real. No, I mean like just environments. Like nowadays, like I can barely tell if something is realistic or not realistic, but there's that little hint of unreal, like it's not real. Um, through certain things, but even then, that's like you could paint that stuff out or something, you know.
Hmm.
So, I think what should happen, and I think Pixar is somewhat going on this route, and I hope they do this and try to go towards something like this. Is that they don't aim so much for realism or trying to go towards something that's super realistic in terms of like environment or like character. I think they should go in something where it's more stylistic. So they take real world applications like, I don't know if you know like subsurface scattering, what that is. I'm not sure if you know what that is.
No.
So subsurface scattering is like if you took a light and you took like if you took your iPhone and you turn on its light and you poke it through your finger, there's this red like glow going through your finger, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So what subsurface scattering is the light passing through certain objects like your skin and bouncing off the walls of your skin and then bouncing out. So it looks like it's almost translucent but not really. So what it's doing is it basically can be seen through but not really. So if you take something like that and put it in like animation, or you put it in like in characters, like I think they did it with Soul with certain characters, or with all the characters, just not like the what would you call that, the number two, what was the Soul character's name, not uh
Are you talking about the little one that
the
like had
blue.
to get like? Yeah, this is I don't spoiler alert or whatever. There's I don't know what I don't know if this is spoiler alert, but like the little blue one that like had to find its like purpose in life.
Yeah, the blue block, not like that, but like the human characters all
Hmm.
had, they might have had some sort of subsurface scattering. But like what if you could turn that into like an environment? Like what if the entire environment had like subsurface scattering? Like the trees had it, or like the leaves had it, like the characters had it, and it was like just otherworldly, like fluffy, like cloud like looking universe or something, and you just built a world off of that. Like that'd be
No,
cool.
yeah, no, I agree with you on that.
And maybe you could take like 2D animation and make kind of like the Spider Verse. You mix that in with 2D animation. That might work. I don't know. That's just a food for thought. Yeah, hey Pixar, contact me whenever you see this, and hit me up. I'm free, so I'll definitely take y'all's call. So nah, but yeah. So well, what else do you want to talk about?
I feel like I don't know, we've talked so much, and most of it We've talked so much about animation, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. Chat, what do y'all think? What do y'all want to talk about? Burnt, I know you got some hard-hitting questions. Let's hear it. Let us hear it. Yeah, Burnt. Putting you on the spot. Burnt is just not knowing what to say. Speechless. We left Burnt speechless. If you could change your show, any show or movie in a different style of animation, what would it be? Oh, ooh, that's a good one. That's an amazing one. Gabe, you want to answer that one?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know what. Could it be like real life into animation, or like a real life TV show? Like, I guess like the whole human aspect, like actual like humans TV show into an animated style, or does it have to be like another animated style into another one?
What show or movie and what style? Okay, so like if you could change like Robot Chicken into 2D animation, I don't know if that would be a good idea.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea because like the whole like like I guess Robot Chicken, like that's their whole like I think that's their whole like claim to fame. Like I feel like
yeah,
it's like they're like
stop
without
motion.
they wouldn't be they wouldn't be the same, and it wouldn't have the same type of feel as well.
I think one I think I could do like one thing not I could do but that I could go with like and back would be like what if we took like these old cartoons like Ed, Ed and Eddie and make them like hyper realistic. Like not do you know what I mean? Like Captain Knuckles hyper realistic, like
Oh yeah. I thought you were talking about like like how people made like the hyper realistic versions of like SpongeBob and Patrick out of 3D modeling.
Well, something like that, yeah, like that. Yeah.
That's kinda sick.
Just one episode where it's just like that. And they talk and everything. Like, oh if any of y'all know what we're talking about, oh my gosh, y'all are amazing. But like, we're talking about. I feel like
Ed, Ed and Eddie would do good in like a Flapjack, Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack type style, where like they do have the
like hyper realistic, like
it's the hyper realistic, and then it's like you're just a kid. I'm 35.
If anyone knows what we're talking about, or if y'all don't know what we're talking about, like in Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack and a lot of other shows, like Chowder, they would have these moments in it where it was like it would go from like regular 2D animation to this hyper realistic like looking drawing of like Captain Knuckles, and like this like there was one he was just talking about it there was this thing where this kid was acting like a kid, but it turns out the kid was actually 35, and like it would go hyper realistic. Gumball's another. Hold on, I will get to that in a second, but like it would get super hyper realistic, and it would just look weird, and you're just like, what the fuck? Like it was just like raw humor, I guess that's what you would call it. I don't think that would be it's not considered adult humor. It's considered like raw humor, just like, but yeah, like Ed, Ed and Eddie in that style. Gumball would be, Gumball's weird because it takes every form of animation and puts it into one.
Yeah.
It literally, you cannot, like, people were, I remember a while back, people were like, they should make like a real life version of Gumball. Like, that wouldn't work. That wouldn't work at all because it doesn't make any sense. Like, you can't make a real life version of Gumball because it just doesn't work. The whole point of the show is to make fun of animation in general. So
That's
like,
the one thing.
yeah.
Like, I watch like clips and like Gumball and stuff. It's just it fascinated like how they used the backdrop. It was I don't know if it was real life or just like 3D animated, but it just looked so real. And then you have like some of the like characters, like what is it, like Tina the dinosaur, like that was 3D animated.
Yeah.
And then it's just seeing like Gumball and just 2D and all that, and how they combine all of it. It was just it's like as a kid, it's like I didn't really look for it, but it's like oh shit, it's just another cartoon. But then like now it's like holy shit.
It was, I don't know, it's really, you couldn't do that with, like, you can't, I mean, you could switch up the styles in the show, so, like, turn Gumball into a 3D version of Gumball, and then turn the balloon, I forgot the balloon character's name, into, like, a 2D animation or something.
Alan. I heard Alan.
Is it Alan? Yeah. Wait, I thought Alan
Yeah,
was a cactus.
No, that's I can't remember what her name was, but it's some sort of a. Can't remember what her name was, but I remember she tried being like one of those little. I remember there was an episode where she was like trying to be like a little social justice warrior.
Oh yeah, and then Gumball kept.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gumball like was like an even bigger social justice warrior, and he was like battling her out and stuff, and like social justice warrior.
Trying
topics.
to be woke. Yeah. I remember that. That was another thing. Like it took its animation like in a certain way, and then like the story, like you would think like, okay, yeah, this is gonna be stupid, but then you watch the story and it's like, yo, okay, this is actually pretty good. Like I actually can roll with this. And there were
what is it? They weren't. I feel like they weren't afraid to go over some topics as well in that show. Like one of the things that I liked was when they made fun of their little Chinese ripoff of Gumball.
Yep. Their off-brand version.
Yeah.
They tried to show them a different path, and they end up getting ripped off again. I don't. It's like there was little things about that show, and then it would like go into like mental health stuff, and it's like they made fun of like a bunch of it was so iconic. Like I don't know why people don't give that show the props it deserves.
I remember too when when they had that episode about selling out, and they didn't want to sell out, and so like they started losing money, and so the level of animation started going down, and so like Gumball was just a sticky note, and then he saw the paycheck and he was like, okay. They took the money.
Yep. Yo, the car wash. I remember what was the episode? It was one of the early episodes. I don't know why. I love the early episodes, but I love more the later ones. But the one that I love the most was the one where they had to go get the doll from the T-Rex.
Oh yeah.
I think her name was Tina or something.
Yeah.
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 And
or what is it? You probably remember Sussy.
Oh yeah, Sussy. Yeah, the mouth that was upside down. It always went. Ah!
Yeah.
And the God, there were so many characters in that show.
I remember the potato. I remember like they fed him junk food. They tried to live like a natural, healthy life, and he's like, he gave the potato junk food, and like he thought they killed him.
Yeah, because the potato went catatonic. So they buried the potato.
Yeah, they thought he died, and they were like singing him a funeral song, and then he's like, and just fucking like comes out again, is all like healthy and stuff.
That reminded me of I swear they ripped it off, but Baby Peanut, the commercial, the Baby Peanut or Baby Nut is what they called him. They called him Baby Nut, and he was what was it? where they thought he died and they threw him in the ground as like for a funeral, and then he came back up as like baby nut. That whole commercial was just it made no sense. The only part that made sense was that they buried a peanut and then he came back up as a baby, but the rest of it made no sense because he starts making dolphin noises. It was on that Special K. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Baby nut on that Special K. It's what it was. But it was just like really, really odd. But that's what that potato episode reminded me of that, and I swear they ripped that off. Completely. So yeah. Any more questions? Any more? I know this would have been longer. I think Tori and Mia had to be somewhere, so yeah. So it's just your boys. The Saturdays are for the boys.
Get some cold ones
for the boys. I think we're gonna. Why don't we go ahead and wrap it up? Yeah, then we're gonna call it a day. Gonna go ahead and send this one to the old YouTube and the yeah. So, I guess we can do some commercial announcement stuff. If you haven't already, please go follow us on any social media out there. Our Discord community is growing. It means a lot if you could join that. You do get community posts whenever we go live, whenever we do any sort of drops or anything. We go and we do it on our Discord. So please go join us there. Go follow us on Instagram, Twitter, social media, anywhere. If it has the Couch Court name, it's probably us. So do go follow us. Go join our Patreon too as well. Our Patreon has exclusive content like bloopers, highlights, and exclusive episodes for patrons. So, and if you get the top tier, you do get a free drawing in our own art style every month. So do go check that out and please join. It does help out the podcast a lot whenever you do. So if you join the Discord, you get a deal with me. So go join. Nice. Yes, you get to deal with Burnt forever and ever and ever. So
yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but do go do that. Join up. Please support us. It does help us out a lot. So yeah. Dorito. Gabe, it is your time to shine, brother.
Ladies and gents and everything in between, sadly that time has come again where we must go back to our cold, dark, happy, and fulfilling lives. But fear not. Tune in next Saturday for another episode of Couch Court, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. And if you live in a different time zone, y'all can Google that shit. But until then, tell your mom to call me. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Y'all take care. Be there next Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we'll see you then on Twitch. Other than that, y'all have a good one. Peace out. See ya.
Peace.